Hey, it's Dr. Thornell with New England Family Chiropractic, and I want to share some statistics with you today. I have a couple of points that I want to make, but we have to get through the statistics first. And what I've done is broken up this board into 4 different sections. And what we have is New York City, we have the city of Tokyo, Japan, we have the state of Massachusetts, and we have the country of Sweden. Obviously, some are cities, some are states, some are entire countries. Populations are relatively similar, and approaches to different things were dramatically different. So I want you to just take a look at these numbers, first of all. In New York City, as of May 6th, as of yesterday, in New York City, the population is 8.3 million people. They have had 319,000 cases of coronavirus with 19,000 deaths. Were they under a lockdown in New York City? The answer is yes. Let's compare that with another city, very similar, lots of people packed into a very dense area. The city of Tokyo, Japan has 13 million people. They have had 15,000 cases of coronavirus compared to 319,000. They've had 566 deaths. Have they been under a lockdown? They've been under what they call lockdown light. Similar to Sweden, there have been some restrictions, but businesses remain open. They're not mandating basically anything. You can still shake hands, you can still ride the subway, you can do all the things that you normally did in Tokyo. In fact, in the country, there was a divide where some people thought things should be stricter, and the government said, no, this is the way we're going to do it. And you can see from the numbers that seems to have worked out pretty well for them to this point. And they're at a point now where they're opening even things that they weren't under a massive lockdown, but things that were shut down are coming back to normal already there. In the state of Massachusetts, we have 6.9 million people. We've had 69,000 cases reported, and we have 4,000 deaths. Have we been under a lockdown? Yes, and now we're under the mandatory mask order, which we're going to come back to. In the country of Sweden, the area most known for not having lockdowns at all. They have a population of 10.23 million people. They've had 23,000 cases, 23,918 cases, and they've had 2,941 deaths. No lockdown. They had some suggestions. They're not having groups of more than 100 people or 50 people, I don't remember what the number is, but no large gatherings. But you can still go to the restaurants, you can still get your hair cut. No businesses have been closed, kids are still in school, all that sort of thing. And so again, no lockdown, 2,000 deaths. So the first thing that I want you to look at when you see this, are lockdowns working? Just taking all of your emotion out of it and all the politics and everything else, are lockdowns working? Here we lock down, we've got 19,000 deaths. Here we lock down, we have 4,000 deaths. Here we didn't lock down, we have 566. Here we didn't lock down, we've got 2,941. And this number obviously is bigger than that number. It's not even as big as the state of Massachusetts. And through not locking down, the herd immunity has already built through Sweden for the most part, and they're in the process of loosening restrictions that they did have, even though they weren't big to begin with. So number one, are lockdowns working? I don't really see that they are. If you can make a case for that from looking at these numbers, that's up to you. But I want those people who are just stuck in, hey, we've got to stay in our house. It's for the good of your grandmother and your grandfather and all these celebrities on TV. Be a hero. Stay inside. I don't see it. I don't get it that way. It just doesn't compute with me. It does not appear to be working when we look at the numbers. Governor Cuomo is in the papers today. He's on the news, the internet today, saying he is shocked that the new coronavirus hospitalizations seem to be people who have stayed inside. People that obeyed the order to stay inside are the new hospitalizations, where people who weren't inside, they're not. Again, not a surprise, because when we're inside, it weakens the immune system, and we're going to come back to that. Going from here into the mask situation, Governor Baker, as we all know here in the state, mandated that we wear masks. The Attorney General came out today saying, he doubled down, is the headline, on what he said at the very beginning of this. Masks are not meant for healthy people to walk around in all day long. That they are unhealthy, that they promote viral and bacterial growth, and that we should not be wearing them. So Governor Baker, I'm not sure what you're listening to. It's clearly different than what the attorney or the Surgeon General, not the Attorney General, the Surgeon General is saying. The Surgeon General is backed up by the Journal of the AMA. They have an article saying, that no, it isn't something that healthy people should do. It doesn't really work to stop the spread of disease, and in fact promotes bacterial and viral growth. Fauci himself was on 60 Minutes in early April saying no, people shouldn't wear them, that even in the middle of an outbreak, all it did was maybe make people feel more comfortable and could stop, and he puts his finger up and says, maybe one drop. So it didn't make sense, but now all of a sudden he's for it. The World Health Organization and the CDC, same thing. In all of their recorded articles on masks, whether they were appropriate or not, it was no, you shouldn't wear them. And now all of a sudden they say that you should. So there's a lot of flip-flopping is what I hope that you get out of that. So where there's flip-flopping, there is obviously no consensus. There's no right or wrong. There's a lot of flip-flopping that goes on here. People say we should lock down, we shouldn't lock down. We should wear masks, we shouldn't wear masks. One of the things that I hope we get out of all of this, one of my biggest messages that I can get to you today is nobody has all the right answers. Nobody does. Or there wouldn't be all of this confusion. There wouldn't be the flip-flopping back and forth. If there was a right answer, if there was a fact, then there's no reason to flip-flop. So what we have is a lot of opinions, and opinions don't necessarily always come to the best result. And it's okay to have different opinions, because when we have opinions and we try those things and we combine them with science and fact, then we may get an answer. But right now, all we have is a bunch of opinions. So one of the things that I really, really, really want you to get is there are very few facts. There is nobody who really understands everything that's going on. So all of those people on the internet that say, oh, I'm sick and tired of these people who just want to follow the message. They're okay to follow the message to a point, but keep an open mind. All of these people that say, oh, it's all conspiracy theory. It's okay to have that idea, but keep an open mind, because nobody is 100% right in this, or it would be over, and it clearly isn't. And the second thing that I know for sure, after looking at all of the statistics and all of the confusion, the one thing that really stands out in every state, in every city, in every country, everywhere, the people who are having the most problem dealing with coronavirus are people who are unhealthy to begin with. The people who have the comorbidities, the people who are weak in their immune system, elderly people who are unhealthy, they are having the most problems with the coronavirus. Well, they will have the most problems with every virus. I've said from the very beginning of this, the best thing that you can do is take your time in quarantine and make yourself better. Make your immune system stronger. That doesn't include staying inside all the time. That doesn't make your immune system stronger. It doesn't include sitting on the couch and watching Netflix all day long. That doesn't make your immune system stronger. What are the things that we're talking about? We're talking about getting adjusted regularly, improving your body's ability to send and receive information to itself so that your body can function properly. Getting adjusted regularly so that you can stay active and healthy, so that you don't have the aches and pains that keep you from exercising. It involves eating properly and eating the right foods, making sure that we're eliminating toxic foods, things that weaken the immune system like sugar, things that make our body have to work extra hard. It includes getting enough water, enough sleep, sunshine, getting out and getting fresh air. So many of those things we've lost because we're stuck in the house. We're not getting exposure to the sun and improving vitamin D, which is proving to be helpful in fighting viruses. It's not getting the exercise and just all of the advice that we're getting to stay inside ruins so many other parts of you being a healthy person. And then Governor Cuomo comes out and says he's shocked that the people who have been, hospitalized recently are the ones that are staying inside. How is that shocking? That shouldn't be shocking to anybody. It's like that. It's obvious if we want people to be weak and susceptible, just lock them inside. They're going to be weak and susceptible. It's just a matter of time. So get back to getting adjusted regularly. Exercise every day. Make sure that you're eating properly. Get enough rest. Have some stress relief. And as I've said again from the very beginning, shut off the TV. The fear that they continue to pump into everybody weakens your immune system. It increases your stress hormones, makes you weaker and more susceptible. So, if nothing else, from this information today, realize a couple of things. Nobody has all the answers, so keep an open mind. Secondly, the one thing that we know for sure, if you're susceptible, then you're going to have more problems. So the healthier people are going to have fewer problems. The healthier people are the ones that when they do the serum testing, they realize this person's already had exposure to the coronavirus, their immune system dealt with it, they now have immunity to it, and they'll never have to worry about it again. That's what happens in healthy people, and that can, from what we're seeing, that's 96 to 98% of the population. So continue to be in that group. Get out there, do the healthy things that you need to do. Get adjusted regularly, get the exposure to the sun, eat the healthy foods. I can't stress it enough. You are your best defense. You always have been, you always will be. Keep yourself strong, and then you don't have to worry about coronavirus or whatever the next virus is that comes along, or the flu every year, or any of those other things. Your best defense is and always has been keeping yourself strong. And if you have questions about any of those things and how to do them, if you're 100 pounds overweight and you need to lose weight, if you don't know how to exercise properly, that's what we do. That's what happens in our office. Yes, we adjust a lot of spines, but that's not the end of the story. We talk about the chiropractic lifestyle, which involves all of those things that we're talking about, from nutrition to supplementation to exercise, all of those things. That's what we're here for. So send me your questions. I'd be happy to answer them for you. And it's a nice day right now, so get out there and enjoy that sunshine.